Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Friday, July 26, 2013. Thank you all for tuning in. As usual, we're going to take a look at the S&P 500 E-mini futures, and what you're going to see here is that the futures are trading, well, when they pop up, they're trading lower by 6.5 points this morning. So we got a pretty decent little dip ahead of the opening bell. We'll see if the market stays down. It is a Friday. Usually Fridays the markets will be supported because the light volume will kick in after the first hour, sometimes hour and a half. But there are a lot of issues going on out there that should be noted. First and foremost, we want to take a look really at the Asian markets last night. And if you take a look at the Nikkei 225 index, which is Japan, you're going to see that had a pretty sharp decline. Japan last night was down very, very sharply. This has been one of the leading Asian indexes that has been soaring and roaring on money printing. But last night, Japan was down about 3%. So again, I think traders should be aware of that. You don't want to take that too lightly, but I'm not sure if it will affect the U.S. markets all that much today because it being a Friday. But it is something to take note of. Also, if you look at the dollar-yen chart, which I've been talking about every single morning, dollar-yen chart really has sold off quite sharply over the past couple of days. Looks like it's getting a little bit of a rebound here this morning off the lows, but that's not much at all, and that is ultimately affecting the market. Again, that yen must be devalued in order for the Nikkei 225 to go up. The yen must be devalued in order for stocks to go up here in the United States, because a lot of institutional traders are using that carry trade and they're levering the money. That's how it works. So again, U.S. markets today, or I should say the S&P, down about 6.5 points. As far as economic data goes today, we're going to have some economic data out, I believe, at 9:30 in the morning. But it's only going to be the University of Michigan's Consumer Confidence Survey. Right, that'll be due out at 9:55 a.m. Sometimes it moves markets a little bit, sometimes it doesn't. I don't think the market really cares too much about it. Who could really believe a survey anyway? But in any case, that's what we're looking at today as far as economic data goes. Now, looking across the pond a little bit today, in Europe, you're going to want to notice that the the German DAX is just down 0.4%. The FTSE 100, which is England, they can print their own money. That is down about 0.3%. Spain is higher by 0.8%. Italy down 0.2%. And the French CAC 40, that is higher by 0.3%. So a mixed bag of tricks there, but no real panic or nothing of really any disturbance over there, at least not yet. Now gold this morning here is down about 6 points to $13.24 an ounce. And then when you take a look at oil this morning, oil is trading lower by $1.13 to 104.36. So again, we are seeing crude prices pull back a little bit, and we'll see how that plays out. Now, there are a lot of earnings coming out right now. A lot of earnings released yesterday. Big one today is Halliburton. Looks like Halliburton is in the news. From what I understand, they admitted, or they pleaded guilty, actually. They pleaded guilty to destroying evidence in connection with the Deepwater Horizon. Remember that spill in the Gulf? So they pleaded guilty to destroying evidence in connection with the Deepwater Horizon rig blowout that caused that 2010 Gulf oil spill, that disaster that involved BP. So Halliburton pleaded guilty. I think they're going to pay a maximum fine, and then they're going to move on. So the stock is trading higher ahead of the opening bell. I really don't see the stock getting much higher than this, though. So again, those of you looking at Halliburton today, I really have a hard time seeing the stock get much higher than 46.50, 46.75. It's just very hard to see that in the charts. It's not showing that kind of strength. So be a little bit careful there. Even though they did plead guilty and they're going to put this stuff behind them, right now it's not a sign of strength. The other big stock that reported earnings was Amazon. Amazon's just trading slightly lower. Company missed on every metric. So, I mean, this is why you don't really care about the earnings per se. Just care about the market's reaction. Because, the company lost money. They didn't make money. They missed tremendously, terribly. But, they have growth potential, and that's what what Wall Street looks at. So again, stock's down a little bit. It closed at 303. It's trading at 300. So I mean, it's not a big decline by any stretch. Stock that did do well was Starbucks. Starbucks is really soaring and roaring. This stock's up quite a bit today. It's trading at $73 a share. It closed at 68. Starbucks making a new all-time high. So there's a lot of strength in Starbucks. I suspect around 75, that's where the stock will hit a little bit of a wall of resistance. But nonetheless, that stock is doing very, very well today. There's a lot of other stocks that really are getting just slaughtered. I'm going to have some gap levels out here this morning, so I'll post those up at 9 o'clock in the morning. But we have some real big, well, I shouldn't say big, but I say a lot of gap plays this morning. It's almost overwhelming, to tell you the truth. So a lot of big gap plays today, and we'll see how they play out going forward. But there's just so many earnings out last night and this morning before the opening bell that there's going to be so many stocks in play. So we should get a fairly decent volatile session. Traders will want to watch overall how this market reacts. Again, the Nikkei 225 really tumbled last night. I know it's not getting much media attention, but I think it should get a lot of media attention going forward. So again, that thing is going to really affect the markets, and it's just not getting a ton of media attention at the moment. So I just want to make that noted to everybody, and we'll see how it all plays out. But there are a host of other earnings plays out here that really are really in play this morning. So there's going to be quite a bit of action, at least the first couple of hours in the market. Okay, so we'll see how that all shakes out going forward. From what I could see right now, we'll probably get good volatility, at least at the beginning of the trading day. Looking back at the futures, you could see once again they're down about 6.5 to 7 points, and again they've been there pretty much all night, and now they're really entering the lows of the day. So again, markets don't look very strong. The only case I can make for the markets today is that it is a Friday, and often on a Friday the institutions will support the market into the closing bell. We've been seeing for the past 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and even prior than that, every time we dip on a Friday, the markets somehow get juiced up by the closing bell. So that's something you always have to be aware of. We'll see how it actually plays out. I'm not 100% sure today if that's going to hold water, because I do see a lot of weakness out here. The majority of the stocks are really selling off pretty sharply. We do have some up moves, but there are so many down moves. Stocks like Expedia, EXPE. Look at the big decline on this one. I mean, it closed at basically $65, trading at $50. I mean, these are just huge declines. In sympathy to that, price line is also falling. This is one that closed at $912. It's trading at $887. These are all market leaders, and they're falling from grace here. So you want to be well aware of that. There are so many others that are down big today, and I'll have those gap plays for you at basically by the end of the session, by 9 o'clock before the session opens. Okay, so with that said, everybody, I'm going to leave it here today, short and sweet. I want to wish you all a great trading day, and I'll see you on the charts.